Hello guys, in today's video I'm gonna be making a review about the Iron Arnie, the new tier 10 American premium tank. But before I start, I have to say that I really don't like those kind of reviews that last 40 minutes going over every single stat on the tank without really saying anything. So I will try to make this part of the video as short as possible and then head over to how to play this tank. So what am I gonna be talking in this review? I will talk about the armor, the gun and the mobility, which are the three most important things on a tank, plus also its camouflage and its vision range. So first of all, let's talk about the armor. The Iron Arnie's main characteristic is that it has spaced armor in the turret and in the frontal hull. The turret is very strong, although you can get penny in the cupola and the upper side, so when you pick you should always keep moving to make it harder for the enemy to hit you there. Of course, that changes when we are talking about tier 10 tank destroyers. If you are fighting against them, you should keep in mind that they will go through your turret like a knife through butter. And about the hull, the upper part can be strong against standard shells, especially when angled correctly, but it suffers against premium ammo. And the lower side of the hull is very weak, so you shouldn't expect any bounces from the enemies if they can actually aim. Now moving over to the gun, I think the gun is probably the best thing in this tank. It has great gun handling combined with 390 alpha damage and a reload of 6.3 seconds with the DPM perks available, which makes the Iron Arnie a DPM monster. It has AP and hit shells, and at first I was kinda skeptic about the APs, but then I checked their speed, which is close to 1400 meters per second, and that by its own doesn't tell you much, but comparing it to the T62A APCR, which has a speed of 1500 meters per second, you can see that there's not much of a difference. It's also important to note that this tank has 10 degrees of depression, essentially making it possible to play hold down wherever you want in the map. Here you can see how great the DPM is on the tank as I farm a full HP 100 in a matter of seconds. Mobility, I think, is the worst thing about the tank. It has a 45 kilometers top speed, which falls a bit short. Also, it has a really bad terrain resistance, so to try and fix this, you can use the advanced powertrain, which gives you 5% horsepower and 5% max speed, but we will talk about equipment later. And also, I'm not a big fan of the off-road driving perk, but you can use it since, as I said, it has a very terrible terrain resistance. You can see the comparison between the T62A and the Iron Arnie on your screen. This tank also has a pretty bad camouflage, but it should have bad camo since it's a brawler medium that should be close to the fight and not camping in the back. The vision range is 410 meters, which is pretty much standard for tier 10 tanks, with Born Leader situational awareness and optics that goes up to 525 meters of vision. And this takes me to my next point, equipment. There is a few options you can run. In my opinion, the best option is to go with advanced loader, gun stabilizer and advanced powertrain. I've seen other people run traction system, but I think advanced powertrain is better because it helps you with the acceleration to get to top speed. With this equipment and the off-road driving perk, the top speed of the tank goes up to 47 kilometers per hour. The other option is to run traction system, which makes the top speed around 49 kilometers per hour. But in my opinion, it's better to get to top speed faster, even if that means 2 kilometers per hour less. The final option is to run optics instead, which is also a viable choice, but I tried it myself. It works just fine, but I think this tank really needs the speed equipment. About the crew, I think it's pretty standard. You should run 6 cents, Born Leader, rapid loading, steady aim, snapshot, run and gun, track mechanic, situational awareness, and the last one, I think it should be off-road driving, but if you don't have a dedicated crew for this tank, you can just go with general mechanic or something like that. I don't think camo perks are useful in this tank because it should be played in the front line, not in the back. And also I didn't feel like this tank was set on fire a lot or ammo racked a lot, so I think general mechanic is the way. So with all that being said, my opinion is that if you have the 9000 gold it costs, you should definitely buy it. It doesn't have a high skill ceiling. The spaced armor makes it so it's kinda hard to pen for the average player, and the DPM makes the tank really easy to play and easy to have pretty good games pretty much all the time. So the first battle I will show you, it's gonna be on highway. In this game I decided to push under the bridge. This is a risky move, but it's also a great position to get assisted damage if you have allies on the left that are able to cover you. Once I realize there's no enemies pushing the left side, I make a more aggressive move towards the ridge to be able to spot some more. Once we killed everyone here, I rotate towards the middle and keep advancing to get into the fight since the battle is pretty one-sided. Once we get to this cooldown position, it's time to start using the amazing DPM of the tank. Remember to always check your surroundings and look at the minimap while you are on reload. At this point the game is pretty much over, so it's just a race for damage. In the end I managed to do 2 more shots, but it takes a couple of minutes to find the remaining tanks, so I'm just gonna go on to the next game. In this battle I took the standard cooldown position on 1-2 line. This position is amazing for tanks with strong turret and good depression. At this point my team decides to YOLO in, but with so many enemies in the back I don't want to push, so instead I stay in the same cooldown position and try to punish the enemies over picking on my teammates. Since there is a lot of enemy tanks pushing our base, I decide to go back and help with the defense. If you have an enemy tank in the open, always try to aim for the main track to be able to perma-track him. Here I realized that there is gonna be enemies coming from 1-2 line, so I try to get the best defensive position possible. I didn't angle the tank correctly, so Progetto is able to pen me on the side, but as you can see this tank has a pretty good armor. In this other situation, you can see how I take this aggressive cooldown position in Dukla Pass and start farming everyone on the side. This flank is gone, so I realized that I need to make a move if I want to get more damage. At this point I thought the game was over for me, but fortunately I was able to find a full HP TVP, which will be my farming piñata in this game. If you guys ever wonder what a godlike game for this tank is, just look at this battle. Prohorovka, no arty, and only one light tank. With this amazing matchmaking, I will just play on the middle of the map, hold down, and use my strong turret to fight against the enemy tanks. Playing in this position, there is no way they can pen me, so just watch how I can farm 5000 damage in less than 2 minutes. At this point, I decided to make the risky move to push into the hole since I'm full HP, to try to spot the enemies in the back. Since nobody punished me, I don't think there's anyone in the back, so I'm just gonna keep pushing forward. The last game of the video is on Malinovka, where I decided to go to the hill so I can use the strong turret and DPM on the enemies going up. Since there is arty, you should always move to make it harder for them to strike a direct hit on you. At this point, it looked like we were losing really hard, so I decided to YOLO in and try to spot the arties. Unfortunately, the GW100 was smart and ran away, so now I need to go back to our base and try to defend it. Since they have people on the middle of the map, I'm forced to take this awkward position, where I cannot pick hold down and I need to show all my tank to be able to shoot. At this point, I need to get close to the fight, so I rotate through the right and hopefully enemies won't be able to see me. Right now the game is pretty much over, so I just need to go forward to get a little bit more damage. That's all for me. I hope you liked the video. If you did, like and subscribe, and see you on the next one.